What's going on, guys? In tonight's live stream, we're going to be talking about my 5-minute method to remove adhesive after you've removed old tint and it just kind of leaves adhesive on the glass. That and much more coming up on tonight's live stream. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Window Tinting Business, where we strive to inform, inspire, and improve you as a professional. As always, my name is Patrick, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Now, if you're interested in window tinting as a side job to improve your current skills or as a full-on career, start right now by subscribing to the channel. You can hit the little blue box right in the bottom corner right over there. It'll take you to the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified whenever I upload new videos or go live as well. Now, this is our Tuesday night live stream brought to you by CertifiedTinter.com. It's going to be your premier online training center, and this is where we premiere our newest video. Sorry, I have something on my desk that caught my eye here. This is where we premiere our newest video that we're going to be uploading to the live stream, and of course, we're going to be followed up with a little bit of Q&A afterwards. Just our normal routine thing here. So I'm glad that we didn't have any problems this week, because last week I was put behind by about an hour. Tonight's live stream, I really do enjoy this one. It's not the longest video. It's about 11-12 minutes long. But from when I start the spray to when I clean it, I don't do a single cut in the video. So you can see that it really does take less than 5 minutes for this product to be able to work and to be able to go ahead and clean the glass. So it's not like I'm saying 5 minutes and it takes 25 minutes and it's a bullshit video. It really is a legit awesome video. Let me think here. Let me think. Just a reminder, super chats are activated. If you guys don't know what super chats are, it's a way to donate to the channel. All proceeds go to help support the channel, of course. Big shout outs real quick. Korean Tinter in the house. What's going on? Tint Pros, how you doing? Dan Urena in the house. David 20. I see you got a question about that 2016 Honda Accord. After the video premiere, we can go ahead and get to that as well. And it looks like Salmon in the house as well. Thank you guys for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. We got about 10 people in the house. 11 people now. That's good. It's good. Whether it's 11, 111, don't matter to me. It's all good, baby. We're all learning here. Let me think if there's anything else. I've gone through everything else. Yeah. So without further ado, 5-minute adhesive removal. Let's go ahead and check out the video. Jesus. All right, we're good. Hey guys, Patrick here, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the adhesive from a back window that's left after you sweat and remove old tint. Stay tuned, it's all coming up. Alright guys, so sometimes when you do remove back windows, I like to sweat back windows as much as possible, and when I do so, sometimes the adhesive is left on the glass and not taken off by the film. So in that particular instance, I have a particular method that I like to do to make it efficient and fast. If you just wet this down and get a scrub pad, start scrubbing this adhesive, it could take you at least a couple hours to get it done and clean, right? So time is money, so I'm going to show you how to get it done and clean fast. I use Purple Power. Purple Power, it's really the best way. And I put it in a spray bottle, I don't dilute it, I go straight with it. Now, this is a very powerful and strong product. If you get it on the sides or interior and stuff like that, a little bit is okay, but if you're overspraying, you probably want to wipe that stuff down. One caveat to this whole thing is that when you are using Purple Power, specifically Purple Power, because I don't know anything else, is that once you spray this on the back window, do not put this out in the sun. If you do so, this will etch the glass and it'll leave marks on the glass. But if you do it inside and indoors, you're going to be just fine. It's going to go ahead and eat that up and be just fine. So. Again, Purple Power, you can get that big bucket, I think $5 or $8 over at Walmart. Go to the auto section or the marine section, cleaning section, and you should be able to find it there. But first step, we're going to go ahead and saturate the back glass and then I'm going to show you some of the tools that I'll use to help clean it, and we'll go through that process. All right, step one, we're going to go ahead and spray down the entire glass. If you need to, get a gas mask or a respirator or something of that sort, or hold your breath, because once you start spraying, you try to breathe this stuff in, it's going to make you cough and it's not going to feel very good. So I don't need to soak it, but I do need to get it wet enough that it's all covered. Oh! Jesus. All right, we're good. All right, while that is soaking and spraying and doing its thing, I'm gonna show you some of the tools that I'll use here. I like to use the Triad Scrub It right here, but this is the gray pad. I'll use the blue pad on this one. It's a little bit more aggressive, so it'll be good for that. Once that's laying down, I probably lay that for about 5 minutes or so, maybe 5 minutes, and just kind of leave that be. And as you're walking through, like I see that I sprayed a little bit, but I didn't really wet this area right here. So you can kind of take a look at what areas you need to spray some more. And let's go ahead and do that. I just want to make sure we get full coverage. There we go. More. Now again, as you can see, this glass is already looking really clear already. So we're just going to continue to do our thing, and we're going to make this glass perfect with no adhesive at all. Now keep in mind too, this is a 2011 or 2012? 2011, right? So this car is already 8 years old. So it's got a little wear and tear. She's got a little love. She's broken in a little bit. If you're going to be doing this on a brand new car, technically, most of the time you're not going to get adhesive left over on a newer car because the film will just usually take off. Some films, they leave the adhesive on there. And if that's the case, I'd probably use it a little more sparingly on a car that's maybe 1 to 2 to 3 years old. You know, maybe definitely wipe some stuff down. But like on an older car, things aren't working. It's not as clean and as spotless as it used to be. So you kind of want to give it a once over, but it doesn't have to be immaculate because you're not going to really tell. It's not going to really make a big difference. Okay, yeah, so I'll use that. I'll use the blue scrub pad right here, and then I'll use the scrubber reach. This thing it just gives you an extension here, and I'll just use this little white scrub pad, and then I'll switch that out when I do an actual cleaning with soap and water, because I don't want the purple power that's on here. I don't want to use that as a cleaning scrub for when I use soapy water to do the install. So I think that's that. That's pretty much all the time here that we really needed. Let me see if I can. Oh, wow. Yeah, look, that looks clear already as is. So I'm going to keep you right here. Maybe here's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better angle. Why not? I'm going to leave you right here just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and go on the inside. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use that blue scrub, like I said, and the scrub pad reach. Plus, I will be using a side swipe just for squeegee purposes and an auto bulldozer. This is just for cleaning purposes. So once I scrub everything, I'm gonna wipe it down. And I'll probably use my spray bottle just to kind of wet everything down just to check and see everything. Yes. Very nice. And notice that we haven't cut once away. This has been a full clip. 6 minutes we're running on this one. So you've been here since I sprayed it, since I scrubbed it down the whole 9. You might see a little bit of spots, but that's actually because that's water left over from when I used the trash bag. I cut the trash bag on the outside and put it on the inside. But as I'm looking at this right now, that window's clean. That window's, you know, I'll probably get a new scrub because you can see that that's a little discolored now. See if you can see that. So I'll switch this scrub out and I'll switch back to my brown scrub on my Scrub It, and then I'll go ahead and go ready for installation. This back window's clean, ready to rock. Now, if you did notice that there are some spots that still have adhesive on there, no problem. You probably just missed them, or it's up at the top, right? So like as you're spraying everything, gravity will pull down the power, the purple power. So the top will get sprayed once and then it'll lose some of it. But like say like right around here in the midsection, you know, you'll spray it here and it'll still be saturated from the upper coming down and still setting it wet. So if you see a little bit of adhesive, just go ahead and do the process again. As you saw, it doesn't take but 3 to 4 minutes and then you're ready to rock. And that is, guys, that is how you remove adhesive quick and easy, and you burn and turn R&Rs. All right, guys, some final words now that I'm completely done. It's because I use the side swipe and an auto bulldozer, right? So you can either do one of 2 options. You can either have 2 sets, one set for just removals and you don't have to worry about cleaning them, and then the other one is for installs. Or you can have 1 set, right? But you do, like after I use my side swipe and my bulldozer, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a good rinse and a wipe down before I use them to install window film. You just wanna have clean tools, you know, and you'd probably be fine, but I don't want something that would eat up adhesive to be on my tools that I'm gonna be installing film that has adhesive. Does that make sense? So, so yeah, and I cleaned up the back window. I cleaned the outside, and then I did a scrubbing on the inside here, as you can see. Now you can see some stuff right here. That's actually because it's 100 degrees and it's Florida, so that's actually condensation, not adhesive. But as you can see, that back window is squeaky clean. Let's see here. Let me make sure I give you a good view. Yeah, that puppy is squeaky clean and ready for any type of install. And what I like to do too is after I get the purple power in there and scrubbed and I think it's clean, then I'll take my sprayer with my soapy water solution and I'll go ahead and wet it down and scrub it again. And what that does is that not only helps like with the smell and such, but you want to rinse all that purple power off the glass, obviously, because we're going to be putting film back on. So we want to rinse that off, but it'll help you also flush the sides out and kind of get that purple power out of there as well. So that's my tips on how to do that. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, smash a thumbs up on it. Let me think if there's anything else. That's it. Have a good one, guys. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this premiere. Like I said, it wasn't a very long video, but it's not about the length, it's about the quality, right? So yeah, this is the best way. I know that when I started doing R&Rs, there was videos about trash bags and sweating it and different things of that nature, but there was nothing out there that talked about what happens when you remove the tint and there's all kinds of adhesive left on the glass. Like, that was one of the very first R&Rs I did on my own, and I flipped out. Like, I didn't know what the hell to do. I mean, I literally sat there for probably an hour, probably more, hour or 2 hours, just scrubbing all the adhesive off that thing. It was a nightmare. So if I would have known this, I would have been done in obviously 5 minutes. So so food for thought, and hopefully this is going to help someone save some time, and obviously burn and turn a couple more cars here. Let me think here. Now is the time of the hour. Let's switch over. Let's go into some Q&A here. Let's see here. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, shout outs, criticisms, now is the time. I'm going to take on calls, take on questions for as long as people are asking questions. And then if it starts dying out, I'll go ahead and close off the live stream, and we'll go ahead and call it a night. So I did want to let you guys know that in the video, when I was spraying the purple power onto the glass, you know, hindsight's 2020. Now that I watched the video and I've reviewed the video a couple times, it does look like I'm sitting there and spraying the shit out of this purple power on that back glass. Now, keep in mind, I don't know if you noticed the type of bottle I had. I didn't get those bottles. An associate of ours that's in the shop, he got those bottles. It's like a cheap $1.50 spray bottle. This is not like a Zepp sprayer or like a Spray Master or a respectable tinter spray bottle, right? So it doesn't put out a lot of product. That's why you saw me sitting in there just spraying the shit out of it. So I just want to let you guys know that if that was like a Spray Master or a Zepp bottle, then I squeezed that many times, I would have soaked the shit out of that. And again, it's not, you don't want it soaking and dripping. You just want coverage. You know, you want full coverage. So yeah, that is that there. Let me see if I'm just going to roll up here, see if there's any questions in the back here. David 20 says, do you guys have any advice on how to deal with the dot matrix of the rear back window Honda Accord 2016? I'll be honest with you. I let people know full disclosure and realistic expectations before I even start the vehicle. So I'll tell them, I mean, unless you really want to sit there with like Elmer's glue, but that's a mess, and it's messy and it's dirty and it's a pain in the ass, and you got to charge more for it. Some people say you can use alcohol. Some people say you can use wet sandpaper. Some people say you can unicorn blood. Like, there's all kinds of shit people say you can do to stick that shit. Here's the thing. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. And that's just what I tell clients, you know. And it doesn't matter if they're buying dyed film or top of the line ceramic film. It doesn't matter if I'm charging them $180 or $750. That's what I tell them up front, you know. That way they have full disclosure and they have realistic expectations. If you don't tell them that, or you don't divulge that, like, hey, you know what, the dot matrix typically isn't designed to hold film up, and sometimes it doesn't look as clean as it could be. It is what it is. Unfortunately, this is one of the type of cars. So, I mean, if you really, really wanted to, because that dot matrix is it's like 6 inches or so, something like that. What you really could do, if you really wanted to, most plotter softwares will have like a break or a cut between the two. And if I have someone that's really, really picky, that top portion I'll actually cut with vinyl and then install the black vinyl. So then that way it basically just goes over the dots, and then I'll install the window tint. Now, that does reduce the visual and the being able to see out the back window just slightly, because you're bringing that down. It's kind of like it's the lesser of two evils sometimes. Sometimes that's what you want to offer the client as well. But be smart about what you do. Maybe offer that before. You don't want to tint the glass and be like, and tell the client that there is an option for vinyl, because once you tint it and they're like, oh no, I hate it, put the vinyl on, now you're restarting the whole goddamn thing over again. So kind of be smart in your plan of attack here. But yeah, and so I know some people that will actually tint it and then pull it down off the dot matrix and let that all air out and kind of dry out. Like, I know guys that leave it down for like 20 minutes and then they squeegee it back up, and basically you're eliminating all the moisture, giving it a better probability of sticking. So those are the best tips I got for you as I got now right now. What's the best, cheapest film roll brands out there? The best, cheapest that's an oxymoron, my friend. You can't. This is usually not the best, cheapest. There's a reason why they're the cheapest, because they're usually not the best, right? So, you know, that's I know films that you can get on Amazon for 15 cents a square feet. They're not gonna last but 2 weeks. They'll probably fall off and turn purple, but that's the cheapest. I don't know. In your definition of best, I don't know. So, I don't know. I would stick with a film manufacturer or Reeboxers, one of the two. Like, I wouldn't get stuff off of Amazon. I wouldn't get stuff off of eBay. I wouldn't even get name brand stuff off of eBay. What happens sometimes is the manufacturers will have like a shit batch, right? And they're supposed to destroy it, right? But sometimes they don't destroy it. the film that has like this, the color skew is off, or maybe the adhesive is adhesive formula wasn't perfect, or the way they put shit together just wasn't right. Sometimes instead of throwing that batch away, they literally take that batch and send it to different markets and still make money off of it. At least and they're not going to get, $150, $100, $200 a roll, but maybe they can get $100 a roll, or maybe $50 a roll. And sometimes you can find name brand stuff like on eBay or Amazon, and it comes to find out it's like B-roll that wasn't good enough for this market and got sent to like Korea or some shit like that, or other places, but yeah, so just be wary and be careful. I always like to buy direct from either who's putting it together or who's actually manufacturing it. But yeah, let me see. Question here said, on a 100-foot roll, how many cars can you get out of that? Now, out of 100 by 60 is a different story. That's the answer the question was answered with a 60 by 100-foot roll. A normal 40 by 100-foot roll or 36-inch by 100-foot roll should yield you about 10 cars if you make no mistakes. So you should be getting about, I'd say about 10 cars per. That would be it. Now, if you make mistakes, then obviously you're going to be making less. So I'm just kind of rolling up from the down. Tint Conditions Window Tinting LLC. What's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for joining in on us. Am I wasting my money buying Fusion Epic Orange for R&Rs? No. Everyone's a little bit different, and everyone uses what works. You know what I'm saying? I'm never one. If I think a product is crap and garbage, then I just won't use it, right? So I'll never trash anyone or downplay anyone unless I think they're just a real piece of shit and just trying to take money from the industry and not really giving back to the industry. Some people qualify in that that category, but the guys over at Fusion, they're awesome, and they have a lineup of different tools, a number of different things, and you can't please everyone, right? So some people might think that Epic Orange is the best thing since sliced bread, and some people might not use it at all, and they think it's garbage. It is what it is. As long as if it's working for you and the time frame's right, then keep going, brother. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, steamer, man, that's the best way. Jiffy steamer, yeah. Except for when it's July in Florida. Okay, that was 95 with the heat index. It was 106, and inside my industrial building that you see me working in has no AC, no airflow, because I can't have dust flying within the building. So it's typically about 10 degrees hotter. So that day it was about 115 to 120 in that shop. Hot as fucking balls. Now, I'm not trying to sit in a fucking car with a goddamn steamer. I don't know if you know the boiling point of water, but I think it's like 212 degrees. Yeah, it's hot. I'm not trying to die out there. Could a steamer work? Yes. Does a steamer work, especially in the wintertime? Yes, because it's not, but even a steamer won't. You can still remove film and it'll leave adhesive. So the point of the video, again, don't forget, is to learn how to remove that adhesive. I guess you could use a steamer for adhesive removal, but shit's hot, takes long. Like you saw, if a steamer can remove all that adhesive in a clean way in less than 4 minutes and 20 seconds, then that's the way I would be doing it. But there's no way that a steamer is going to go faster than that. No shot. Saul said, do you charge more for vinyl? I don't charge more for that particular instance. I wouldn't charge for like the vinyl strip. It's kind of like my due diligence, my fiduciary obligation to my clients and potential clients is that I want to be able to take care of them as best as I can. And if I think in my heart of hearts that it's either going to be too much of a pain in the ass or something of that nature, if it's a little thing, I'll jump over a couple little hurdles. No problem. You're a good customer, maybe throw in a free glare strip, maybe knock off $10, $15, something like that. Those are little things. If a normal car is going to take me 3 times as long, if this car is going to take me 3 times as long as a normal car, then I'm going to have to start charging for my time. But You know, throw in vinyl, it's up to you. I don't, because it doesn't take me long. I know how to adjust my plotter and cut the vinyl out just as fast as I would cut out tint. So if I needed to, and if it took longer, I probably would, but no, I don't. Daniel Reyna with the $15 super chat. Definitely appreciate that super chat, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Going down the Q&A line. What do you do when film comes off in pieces? You pray to the tint gods that you're not going to be there for fucking 4 hours. When it comes off in pieces, then listen, most window film has a life expectancy of about 7 years, give or take. And it really just depends on where you are. I live in Florida, where good film goes to die. So I've seen Lumar and 3M film crap out in 3 years, you know, and the same film north of the Mason-Dixon line in you know, New York, Chicago, Michigan, that shit will last 25 years and never have a problem. So usually about 7 years is when the film is like a rubber band, right? Think of a rubber band. It's pliable and it's stretchy, right? But if you leave that same rubber band in the sun for long enough, when you grab that rubber band and you pull it, it'll just pull and fall apart. Same thing with window tint. After about 7 years, it's just going to get brittle on you. And when that's the case, when that happens, unfortunately, the only way to remove that is to get a scraper blade and start scraping. And that's the worst. That's probably my nightmare of this industry. Like, I hate doing that because it's messy, it's hot, it takes a long time. Like, my shop definitely doesn't charge enough for it. Like, if I'm scraping windows on a full vehicle just for removal, I'm charging $450. We haven't even talked about putting tint on there yet. So once I throw in tint and a glare strip on there, you know, I'm gonna be right in the $650 range for an R&R of that caliber, right? Because it's gonna take me all day long, and then like I'm gonna be a hot mess, so I can't really hop into like $120,000 S-Class Mercedes, and while I have bits of old tint and I'm dirty and I'm, you know, it just kind of halfway ruins the day. So yeah, if that's the case, I just charge accordingly. And normally people that have a car that's over 10 years old, they're not dumping $650, $700 into a car. So I just overprice the shit out of it so they say no. In the offset chance that they do say yes, at least I'm making a pretty penny on it. Can you fit 24-inch roll on back windows? No, most likely not. You can fit a 24-inch roll on trucks. I think that's about it. Trucks. Small trucks. Maybe small hatchbacks, maybe. But besides that, most back windows, you're going to need at least a 36. Will cover most back windows. Some windows are 40, but 36 will get you covered most of the time. Yep, always extra. It's more work. Yeah, well, some people charge more, some people don't. It is what it is. Let's see here. Oh, tint stuff in the house. This week I left some cars running with the AC on while installing. Nice. You just gotta be careful not to fucking die. What is it? Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. I always forget which one it is. It'll kill you. One of them will kill you, I think. Pretty sure. I think they both will kill you, actually. Challengers, 24-inch. There you go. Few. Challengers are pain in the butt. You want to do Monte Carlos? Not a Monte Carlo. Grand Marquis. Crown Vic. Those are always fun. Oh, let's see here. How we doing? Got about 15 people here. Buy your beer at Beer Garden for some in-shop hand cutting tips. Buy you a beer at Beer Garden. Are you from around here? There be 1, 2, 3. In-shop hand cutting tips. Hey, brother, if I have the time and I can meet up with you and you're local, I'll come meet up with you. I'll teach you how to fucking sling it. I'll do it for you. Let me know. Let me know. I'll take care of you. About 30 minutes on the live stream so far. Doing good so far. All right, y'all. Don't slow down now. What? No, you're not. Collier in 54? That's literally down the street from me. Literally a 5-minute drive. What's your shop's name? Shut your mouth. Another $10 from Daniel Reyna with the super chat. Definitely appreciate that, brother. You gotta stop with that. I love that though. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Have you done a 944 Porsche? I think I have. Let me take a look at it real quick. I've done so many damn cars. Screen share. New window. Incognito. Google.com. Let's bring you over here. 944. What did we say? Not 9844. 944 Porsche. Let's take a look. Image. Oh, you know what? I think I actually have done one of these. Oh, I have to see the back window. I don't know if the back window has like a plug. If this back window has a plug, this one might be a little older. I've done one very, very similar to it. It's a pain in the ass. I've done one very, very similar to this one. I don't think it was as old as this one. It does. No, it has a plug for the wiper. I don't think I've done this particular one, but these Porsches were a huge pain in the butt. I did an R&R in one of these with a full front windshield, and it took about 7.5 hours. And I was all by myself, and it's hard because everything has to be hand cut, and there's no dot matrices, and you got to do. I mean, there's a cutout on the glass and all kinds of other things. It puts you to the test, my friend. Puts you to the test for sure. Collier and 54. There be. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let me know what your name is. That way when you hit me up, or just remind me. Collier and 54. You know what? If I'm on a slow, message me on Facebook. There be 123. Message me on Facebook. Best day would probably be on a Monday, and hit me up on a Monday. We can do something on a Monday when I'm slow. And I'll check the books. And if I'm slow, come right by the shop, brother. I'll show you. And then that way, I got some extra. Just bring some tools and some stuff. I mean, I got everything actually. So, but bring your tools. That way you can learn with your stuff. And I got some extra film. Bring some film if you want. And I'll teach you how to chop it up real quick. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be fun. My bill is gonna be $2,700 per hour. Just kidding. Jokes. All right, y'all. Don't let the Q&As dry up now. I'm not one for shutting her down. I'll shut her down. 35 minutes. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. My Lana, I have been. My desk is slowly starting to get taken over with things left and right. It's like I picked up a new gaming keyboard and mouse, and that only works off but then I have to have a different mouse and a different keyboard for live streams because I only have so many USB ports. What I need, I bought one of those things. I think I saw here. It's like a USB extender, right? But I can't find a good one. You know what I mean? All the ones I can find are $10 or something like that. When I plugged it in, I plugged in my mic, and maybe I just don't plug in my mic into this, and all the other stuff are just low power. But yeah, when I tried to plug in my mic set and my audio interface into it, it was like, and I thought I broke shit, and I'm like, so hopefully maybe I can find one. Do a little research. See, and I always click the wrong keyboard. How do you tint door panel for A8 with bottom load? Okay. Audi A8. The newer ones, the brand newer ones, you don't even have to pull the door panels off. You literally could slide the top off and pull out the strip. Bottom load it like normal. Pull the weather strip back in. Put it right back on, up and over it again. But the Audis, you really gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be careful. A lot of the Audis, the A4s, the A6s, you have to remove the panels off first. The wood trim, you have to take those off first to be able to remove the screws, and usually another screw. There's usually about 3 screws, one by the door, 1 or 2 behind the trim. You have another one behind like the speaker where it says the Bose right underneath the door handle. You have to remove the speaker casing. There's a screw behind there, and there's usually a screw underneath. You got to get down low and look. So there's usually about 3 to 4 typically. But if you don't know what you're doing, I would definitely suggest not to remove Audi doors, because number one, Audi door panels are very expensive. Cars are very expensive, but that door panel itself, if you break that trim, it's probably going to be $200 just to replace that trim. Yeah. So be careful. Nice. Keith, copy that. WTC for life says, so you remove door panels on most cars. I prefer to bottom load. My preferred method is bottom loading. Now, how I get to the bottom load is a different story. Honda Accords, the newer 2018-19 Hondas, you just pop the top, pull the panels back, remove the weather strip, and you can bottom load. Some cars, you have to remove the entire door panel. Some Audis, I'll remove the entire door panel. Sometimes you could just kind of peel the top off. I call it pop the top and pull out the weather strip. Sometimes the weather strips are really easy, like Hyundais are super easy. Some Fords are super easy. So I prefer to bottom load. The method to get to that bottom load, whether it be just popping the top and pulling the weather strip or taking the full door panel off, it is what it is. And it just depends on how difficult it is. Like Lexus, like a Lexus IS 250, I'm taking the whole door panel off, and usually not the back doors because I have so much room. I mean, I do if I really want to, which I probably usually do anyways. But because the front end is so small, you literally have an inch or two, and if that particular model has a tweeter, like a little tweeter speaker in front of that, then there's no space. You can't get nothing back there, right? So I prefer to bottom load if I can, but if I don't know how to remove the door panel, or it's just too complex, or for other circumstances, or too long, it takes too long, then I just shrink and top load. My preferred method is bottom loading, but the whole overall objective is to install as quickly and as cleanly as possible. Braden has a great question. Shumansky. I really hope I said that right the first time, because I'm fucking horrible at reading. Shumansky. That's what's up. I like that last name. How do you handle customers that expect perfection and complain about 1 or 2 specs per window? I do this. And I guess this is more, you learn a lot more when you could start feeling and reading people out. When they start asking 1.5 million fucking questions, then you start knowing like which customers are going to be a pain in the ass and which ones aren't going to be. Or if they say some crazy shit like, make sure it's perfect, or something like that, I stop right then and there, and I have a realistic expectation conversation with that client right then and there. Because if you do not, you're going to have a huge problem with that person. You're going to end up redoing this car over and over and over again. But you need to let them know up front right away. I tell them, if you're looking for perfection, and this is my spiel, so hit record, write it down, get a notepad, do whatever the hell you got to do. Okay, so they talk about perfection. I stop right then and there. I said, let's have a conversation about realistic expectations. Window tinting is a handcrafted art. Okay, whether we use our computer cut programs and it's hand installed, or we're hand cutting it ourselves, but it is a handcrafted art. We're not manufacturing radios. We're not busting out 100 or 200 of them, 300, 3,000 of them in a day. So we do one car at a time by hand. And those, and I don't have a clean environment. Like, I can get it as clean as possible, but even if I had a clean room environment, your vehicle is still dirty. So there are some imperfections that are going to happen. I always tell people 97%. 97%, that's the best you're going to get. You're going to have some imperfections here and there, and that's just how window tinting is. If that's not something you can handle, then let's part ways now and let's be happy. So most of the time they get it and they understand. So one spec or two, yeah, 97%. You got to understand. I did the math on 97%, and 97% is like, there's 33 square feet in an average 4-door sedan, and 97% good and 3% dirt came out to be like a 12-inch by 12, like a square foot of trash. Like 99% is, I believe, a 3-inch by 12-inch section full of trash. That's a 99% job. So when someone says, look at that little speck, or this little speck, if there's one or two specks, there's no creases, no fingers, no nothing, just one or two specks on the entire car, that's probably 99.999999999. In any other industry, that's more than deemed acceptable. So you gotta get prepared, and you gotta let them know what's up. First and foremost. What are your thoughts on sanding and gluing the dot matrix? How long does it last? I don't like sanding and gluing. Gluing is a huge pain in the ass and messy, and sanding, like those type of cars. Here's the thing, I'm a burn and turn. Let's do volume and quality, right? So I want to sell as many newer cars and do as many of those as I can per day, right? So I want 1 to 5 year old cars, newer cars, so I'm not cleaning up old crap, and I want to sell good cars, and I want to do as many as I can in a day. When I have to sand and do the glue and do other little shit, then it's not worth it for me. I'd rather not even do that car, because I can just fill the slot. Why do that car when that car, even if that car takes me, if my average time, let's say it's an hour and a half, but it's not, but let's just say it's an hour and a half, right? Let's say my average time is an hour and a half. Let's say that car takes me 2 hours because there's other additional shit I have to do to make sure that car is tinted correctly. That's 33% more time, right? And that's just one time, right? And you do that a few times a month. I mean, a few times a week, times a few times a month, times that by a year. That it might not seem like 30 minutes is a lot, but that 30 minutes compounded day after day, week after week, month after month, that's lost time you could have spent tinting a car and getting tinting another car for profit, versus spending more time on the same amount of money coming in, if that makes sense. But of course that's easier said than done, because there's ups and downs in this industry. During the summertime, you got to make it when you got to make money when the money's good, and during the wintertime, sometimes it's feast and famine. You don't see a car for a week, so you gotta take the good with the bad. So I hope that answered your question. I don't like sanding, and I don't like gluing. I don't like taking. That just messes with my time frames. I don't like it. How come bottom loading doesn't need to be shrunk? Some bottom loading even still needs to be shrunk. Honda Accords back windows still need to be shrunk even if they're bottom loaded. The reason why you get more fingers on a top load than a bottom load is because when you top load, you put the film. I want to make sure I'm on camera here. So you put the film, put the top up half up, right? And then you squeegee like this, right? So you go from the top and then you go down. So when you're doing that, you're bunching all the film to the bottom, which will produce a finger, right? So, but when you bottom load, you bring the film in, and all the film is touching the glass. And if you spread out from the center out, then you're not squeegeeing down and forcing fingers to group up here. You're spreading out the film more evenly across the entire glass. Therefore, it doesn't leave fingers most of the time, and then you don't have to shrink it. So that is why it's a spread method. Spread method. What do I use? I'm currently having issues with removing adhesive from the rear view mirror. I did this was the video we watched. We talked about it actually. I use Purple Power, spray it down, and keep it on inside the car. keep the car inside the building. Purple Power, leave it on for about 5 minutes, and I just use a regular scrub pad. You don't have to work harder, just work smarter. Purple Power is a very, very strong, very powerful degreaser, I guess you can call it. Cleaner? I don't know. It does the trick, and it eats up the adhesive. I didn't work very hard. I didn't even break a sweat, and I can remove the adhesive. So I'll be posting this video again. So check out this video again. Title will be 5-minute adhesive removal, and that'll definitely help you. Who's going to the Tint Off, vatos? I'm definitely going to the Tint Off. Definitely going to the Tint Off. Thank you very much to the sponsors from Film Slingers and Tint Wiz. Appreciate that. By the way, I'm going to be doing a review video for Tint Wiz. By the way, if you guys don't know what Tint Wiz is a CRM suite specifically designed for window tinters. It's a really, really cool application. I'm going to be doing a kind of like a quick review and then possibly a secondary follow-up video with like a more in-depth tutorial of it as well. So I think I'm doing a 2-for video. We're talking about just doing. It was a 1 video deal. I might squeeze in a second one because I really like them. Holland back in the house. What's going on, brother? Only very late. You know what? Here's the thing. I was just late last week. So you're on time. Don't worry about that. But what do you do when you have a few inches of matrix? A few inches, 2 to 3. Scrub it clean. Just make sure there's no like adhesive from like the oil change sticker or anything else like that. Scrub it the best you can. Lay it on there, and if you need to, get a heat gun on it. But that's pretty much it. If you walk around and check out other cars that have dot matrices, you'll see. And like people ask me, they're like, how come it's sticking here but it's not here? It's not showing here but it's showing here. And I'll literally take the customer and walk them to a different car in the parking lot, because most cars have a dot matrix border, and most cars you'll see that the dot matrix does not stick. So once they see that it's normal that the dot matrix doesn't stick, then they'll bring their guard down. They're just flipping out because they spent $200, $300, $400, $600 to get their car tinted, and it's like not sticking at the edges, and they're afraid it's going to fall off. You just have to calm them down and assure them that everything's going to be fine. And even if not, and let them know that even in the event that it all hits the fan and we have to redo it, that's okay. Bring it back. We'll redo it. We'll take care of you. It don't matter. Some good questions. 20 people watching. Maybe I should move this live stream like later, because when we're doing maybe people just are bored of the videos. I don't know, and just do Q&As. Because whenever I'm doing Q&A, I don't know if it's because I've been on longer and it lets people catch up and get in on video, or something. Because I always have more people at the tail end than at the very beginning. Who knows? 20 now. 20 people watching. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Welcome. 1,000 welcomes. Let me know in the chat if you guys are going to the Tint Off this year. I will be going to the Tint Off. I'll be there with the Film Slinger guys, with my boy Michael Powell. Obviously, it's a good time to see my Soak Shield buddy Robert Oman and a bunch of other guys, and then I'll probably see some shitheads as well. You should do Periscope and go live doing a car. I've gone live a couple times in the shop. Periscope was cool. You can actually, where is it? I have a GoPro now. I have a GoPro Hero 7 Black, whatever it is. It's the best top of the line one as of right now. And you can actually, I can go live now during that actually. I'm trying to talk. You're not allowed to record anything, but I'm trying to see if I can get to the Tint Off event coordinators and see if I can wear a GoPro, because they say you can't record, but they never. I'm not recording. I'm streaming, right? So it's a completely different thing. It's a gray area, but I'm trying to plan on like streaming the competition, like me during cutting the car, like tinting the vehicle, or at least recording it. So I don't know, but yeah, I've done a full car live stream. It's not that bad. It's a little bit more complex because I actually physically either have to be wearing like a wireless mic so that you guys can have audio and hear me, and I set the camera up, or the camera's physically on me, and then but it's daunting because I'm moving around all the time a little bit. So if people like it, I've done it a few times, and if people enjoy it and want to see something like that, then I'll do that, no problem. You killed it on the last name. Yes, yes. What's my Tickle Squeegee pattern for back windows? I'll get the film in place, and I'll put a tack right in the middle. Just a good hard tack, just so I know that film isn't going to move on me. And then I know, because I do it exactly the same way, I'll go from the center out, go to my left, and then center out, go to my right. And then now I know that shit is down solid. And from there, I will do the top, and then I will do the bottom. So I'll probably go from the center out, and I'll mix it between going from the center out and going from the center up, because I want to spread my film right as well. So, but I always keep the sides tight, and I push down and just squeeze you out. That's pretty much it. So bottom, tack the center, and then I go up, and then I go down. Easy peasy. Don't overthink it, baby. Shumansky. When wear tint off? The tint off, I don't know if you're asking, Daniel. The tint off this year is going to be in Indianapolis at the Indianapolis Convention Center. It's going to be September the 4th through the 6th. It's going to be the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Last year it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The problem was that everyone left Saturday. It was a ghost town on Saturday. Everyone left on Saturday so they can go back to their shops and tint and make some money, I guess. I don't know. So so this year they're doing it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you're competing, you have to show up the day before on that Tuesday to register, and then that Wednesday morning they will do the first heat. In the afternoon they do the second heat. And then Thursday they do heat 3 and 4, and Friday is the finals. So couple little changes. Auto division's always been the biggest, but it's the best. I mean, the best tinters are there. It really is. It's humbling because and every tinter goes through it. Any tinter that goes to the tint off, because it's $10,000 first place, right? So every tinter's first thought is like, fuck yeah, I got it. I'm really good, right? Yeah, you're good. There's probably I know there's about 10,000 brick and mortar shops out there with probably 2 to 3 on average tinters per shop. So now you're looking at 30,000 shops. You don't even include the mobile guys, which is probably 2 to 3 times as many brick and mortars. So let's call those mortars. So 60,000. I'd probably say 75,000 to 100,000 window tinters in the world. Now that's just in the U.S., but this is the world competition, right? So last year there was like 150 and like 125 competed. And so you're talking about 125 of the very best window tinters in the world globally, right? So a lot of window tinters come in there with these aspirations of winning the first time. Listen, just let's be honest, okay? Half is skill and half is luck. I'll give it that. Because there's always some factors, there's always some little stuff. Like last year, my car was literally below and in front of an AC unit, like an air conditioning duct, and I'm looking down at the they have a rail with a curtain to keep like the crowds back and keep the competition area separated from like where people are walking, and they usually have a curtain, and I could see the curtain swaying. Which you might not think is it's not so aggressive that like it's gonna blow my film away, but it can definitely like blow contaminants, dust, dirt, and whatever into my area and potentially get into my installation. So there's always something that's going on, you know. So it is what it is. Hopefully you do your best. You do your best. You hopefully get into the finals. You knock out a back window, and you hopefully win. And you're happy for the people that do win. And, you know, if you're going to go to the ton-off, just don't be one of these schmucks that don't win. They're like, fuck this thing. Well, I'm never going here. This is rigged. Blah, blah, blah. You got to just go there, network. You're at a location with the very best of the very best. You know, network, meet people. You might meet people that are new to your area. You might be good at flat glass. It might meet people that have a lot of flat glass work. I know guys that get flown out all over the country just because they have a good network and a steady workflow. You know, so go have a good time. Now, I use it to have a good time, see my friends, spend 4 or 5 days with my friends, bullshitting, having a great time in the industry that I love, you know. And if I win the $10,000 and I win first place, hell yeah. Take it. We're going to a steak dinner and a strip club and having a great old time. So it is what it is. It's only a bonus, right? Do you more plotter or hand cut? At the shop, I'm plotter. When I first started, I hand cut for about a year to a year and a half, and then I moved to a shop that did nothing but plotter. And I can do both in the pinch. It is what it is. But because I don't hand cut every day, all day, you know, you're not as quick and as efficient. Could I double cut? Yeah, I probably could. It'd probably take me a little bit longer, but it's not something I do on a daily. So yeah. I can do both, but mainly I plotter cut. I don't know. Pretty sure I got it this year. Matt, I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope I do. I hope someone does. I hope someone would. Listen, I hope it's one of our close friends, and I hope it's not anyone that I cannot fucking stand, okay? Because I know a couple of people that were in the finals, and we were because they don't announce who wins until you go to the final evening dinner, which is a pretty good spread, by the way, but they announce the winners there. And as they're announcing top 3, I know there was 2 or 3 people in the finals last year that I just really can't stand. Obviously, I won't name names, but like top 3, I'm like, don't say it, don't say their name, don't say their name. But 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, I was like, thank God, because now I don't have to hear it. Patrick, I'm making a heat box. Can I use any 250 watt UV red lamp or a brand? I've just used any red heat lamp. It doesn't need to be red, but the red gives the illusion that it's hot. You know what I mean? That it's all about illusion. So as long as it's hot, and as long as make sure that the switch that you're setting is like an auto off switch. Like, you don't want to switch it and keep it on because someone can forget that that's on, and now that could be a potential fire hazard. So when you're doing it, make sure it's like a push button kill switch. So you have the button has to be engaged for the light to go on, and the second the button is released, the light goes off, just as a safety feature to make sure that you don't burn down your place. So, do I work for an auto dealership? No, I don't work for an auto dealership. I work for a window tint shop. So yeah, I work in the automotive department, obviously. But the company I work for is primarily flat glass, and they do a lot of flat glass. But yeah, no, I work for a private tinting shop. So I couldn't do. The only way I do a dealership is that I have to be. I'm a diva when it comes to dealership work. Like, they have to give me the delivery bay or I'm not working. You know what I mean? They try to put me in the shop, and I'm like, no, there's fans and stuff in there. It's loud. And I'm like, no, I need the delivery bay. And if you're not going to give me that, I'm not showing up. You can call the guy down the street. So I'm pampered. Like, I need AC. I need a whole bunch of other stuff. I like the nice stuff. Decker, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome. Yeah, I've built one box one time, and it was good. I think it was good. I would suggest just be careful with the glass. You get thick glass, because I broke glass panels, and I think I got them too thin. It was like safety hazard, you know. 23 people watching. What is going on, y'all? What is going on? Welcome to the live stream. We've been on for about an hour. Okay, 54 minutes. Good. We kind of stretched it out. I don't want to ever leave at like 34 minutes. You know what I mean? I want to stay on. Can confirm fire hazard. I know someone that left the heat box on over a weekend, smoked out the showroom. Oh no. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't have a tint shop, dump 15, 20, 30 grand into it, have your whole life savings in it, or anything, you know, and that's the way you provide for your family, and the motherfucker burns down. You don't want to do that. That's not even funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. Be safe. Yeah, Matt, I hope you I hope you get sponsors. It's coming. We still have time. It's only the end of August. When is it? The 23rd? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have 6 weeks. We're 6 weeks out from the 10 off. 6 weeks is not a long time. I should probably start hand cutting some windows. Marinus, are you talking about the one that was like in the window frame? Yeah, I had never seen one like that, and that looked really cool. Yeah, then just make sure there's a kill switch on that, please, 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 please. Put it on the bottom. Something where it doesn't stay on when you have it flipped on. Now, granted, if you have that heat box on, it's noticeable, it's bright, and it's like, oh, it's on. You know what I mean? So you might be okay with that kind of heat box. I'm so tired. I've been running ragged the last couple of days with tinting at the shop and getting a big order out for DSP, and then editing this video, going live stream. I still gotta what else do I have to do? I'm doing bullet points for the Tint Wiz video. So a lot of stuff going on. It's gonna be good though. How can you tint a car with rain guards? Do you have to remove them? You don't have to remove them if you have a plotter, and it depends on how far. Does the rain guards go all the way down the front as well? If they do, you kind of got to eyeball it. Most rain guards can be removed, and I mean, and if you really have, and then some of them are stuck with two-way adhesive. Do your best, but if you have to remove them, and if they can't be removed because they're stuck with two-way adhesive tape, then remove it and put new 3M double-sided tape back on. I've done it. No big. There we go. Yes. Final registration to be entered into the tint off is the end of July, the 31st, which is not like next week. Yeah, I've been making sure that, yeah, you have a week and a day to make sure that you're registered to be able to compete, of course, What software do you use for editing videos? I use DaVinci Resolve. I wanted to go with a Premiere, but when I wasn't making money off this channel, I used Resolve because it was free. And I've just learned to be fast and efficient with Resolve, and I do like it. So I stick with it. So it's done me well. How do you approach a sell to customer to get ceramic versus standard? So the way the ceramic, our lineup is Lumar's, ATR, and CTX. And then next to it, we offer Formula One, which is still Lumar, Formula One's Pinnacle, and then Stratus, right? So good, better, best, bestest, right? So with the ATR and CTX, I informed them that this is now ATR has some metal in there, so I let them and inform them that sometimes it could interfere with AM radio and GPS potentially. I let them know, hands up, right? We don't sell ATC. We only use ATC for like dealership, like really cheap stuff, standard dyed stuff. The real selling point for going up in here would be increased heat rejection. So I let people know that with every level you go up, you get about 10% better heat rejection with each level, but then I also tell them that once you jump from ATR to ceramic, from ATR to CTX, it's the heat rejection that's really going to sell the difference, right? Because there's really not much else, because the warranties are both the same, right? The standard factory warranties covering basically against film failure. Now, when I want to sell from CTX to Pinnacle, one of the factors is also increased heat rejection, but also it comes with a no-fault warranty and a transferable warranty. So now not only do you get better heat rejection, but you get better warranty coverage. And then from Pinnacle to Stratus is just better heat rejection. The warranty coverage is the same. So with each level that you go up, you got to give them something for their money, right? So you got to either give them better heat rejection or better warranty coverage. And if, let's say, the film that you're using doesn't offer a better warranty coverage, and the heat rejection isn't really that great, then maybe you should think about implementing an in-house shop warranty. So it's not by the manufacturer, but it's guaranteed by you personally. And that way that it's like insurance. You have to sell more insurance than claims are reported, right? Because then you're in the positive, you're in the green. So that's what I would do. Now, if your only shot is heat increasing, right? So from 44% heat rejection to 46% heat rejection, that's a 10% increase. So 10% of 44 is 4.4, right? So 4.4 so like that's 10%, right? So let me see. 40% heat rejection increased by 10% would be 44%. So if we start from 1 and then 10% more, it would be 44%. That's really, it's hard to show that as a representation, but that's where heat boxes and heat lamp demonstrations really, really show. And especially if you can get a BTU meter involved, and you can show them, like a BTU meter, like really shows, like a BTU meter will start like at the control at like, I don't know, 350, and then you put your standard stuff down and it goes down to like 275, and you're like, hell yeah. And then you throw your ceramic in front of that and it goes from 275 to like 110, and they're like, oh. They're like, take my money. You can't get their money quick enough. You got to give them reason. It's all sales. After you learn how to tint, you got to really like learn how to sell, right? So you have to make sure that it's benefits. You want to make the value exchange. You want to make sure that they're feeling like they're getting more value than what they're paying for. So WTC for life. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate that, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Am I buffering? No, it's still good. Slowing down on my end here. I just want to make sure there. I use a glove to shrink the film, but I see you use a felt card to shrink. What's the name of that tool, and which is better, the glove or the card? The card I use is called a MacTac. I believe vinyl guys use it. But I use a MacTac because it's a little bit softer, a little bit more forgiving than a straight hard card. Because if you go over, if you don't clean the glass like perfectly, and like let's just say there's a grain of sand that's on the glass and then the film is over it, and you're shrinking it with a hard card, and your hard card goes down hard enough on that sand, it will tear the film as it goes. But if I'm using a MacTac, it'll just kind of go right over it and not damage anything. That's why I use a MacTac. I use a glove if it's a really aggressive shrink and there's a lot of fingers and I have to move the film a lot because my heat gun is hot and I don't want to burn my fingers. So that's that. So most of the time I use the card, but if it's an aggressive shrink that I'm going to be really working in there and I have to use my hand to kind of like challengers. I use a glove for a challenger just because I have to move a lot of film and shrink aggressively. What do you guys charge from low to high? That's a hard one, brother. It's all dependent on the film that you're selling and your market. My particular area, we start off at 180 and top out at 500 for average cars. South Beach, Miami area, there's a $99 tint shop on every goddamn corner. You can't sell a tint shop for $125. So you're really subjected to what your market will yield. So it's not just a straight, simple, here's your price. On top of that, too, technically and legally, we're really not supposed to be talking about price anyways. It breaches like the Fair Trade Act and other things. It's price setting and stuff of that nature. So just be careful when talking about stuff like that. Marinus, yeah, and that's my reason for I'm making a heat box. Yeah, you might spend a couple $100s on that heat box, but it'll pay it back in spades. And Marinus, when you go there, not only will they feeling it is good, but if you can get like a BTU meter, and a BTU meter is a couple $100s, right? $200-300, but a good one is, right? But if they can see that number, like I do set a heat box and I put that BTU meter like on a stand or something so it doesn't move. So that way when I'm just moving slides, I know it's not because I'm moving the BTU meter up or down, right? So I move the slide and you can just see the numbers, boom, 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 and that just, I mean, that sells so good. So good at a shop. All right, guys. Blue Teflon is not good to shrink with. You can, but you still run the same thing. Whether it's a Teflon, whether it's a 3M Bondo card, blue Teflon is soft, but it's still hard enough that if it catches like a pebble, or not a pebble's like a big object, but like a piece of sand or a piece of grit that you might have not have seen and didn't get off that glass, it's going to tear that film. And you don't want to do that. So I've always used the MacTac, and it's always very forgiving. Well, if you use a hard card and you throw a crease in there, usually that crease is going to lay down so hard that you're not going to be able to save that film. But the MacTac, let's say you don't shrink it enough and you kind of put a little crease on there, most of the time you can kind of lift up the film, reheat it, and heat that crease out. But with a hard card, like a Bondo card or a Teflon card, you're smoked. That's pretty much a wrap. I already have a BTU meter. Well, Mr. Decker, you're going to make a lot more money. Good for you. I like it. Oh, all right, guys. It's almost that time. Let's see here. 18 people watching. About an hour. We just broke an hour. All right. 2-minute warning, guys. I'm on the wrong keyboard. 2-minute warning. I'm going to go ahead and take a few more questions, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. Ba, 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 ba. Got a long weekend. Matt, I don't know what I have going on tomorrow. I'm trying to shoot the Tint Wiz video tomorrow evening, but I don't know what I'm doing throughout the day. But hit me up, or I'll hit you up. Expect a call from me, Matt, because we're gonna talk about a couple things. You know, business. What squeegee or tools do you recommend me to avoid the lines light dot of rear windows of Accord's Honda? Thanks. Installing? When you're shrinking, MacTac, and when you're installing, I wouldn't use like a Blue Max or a red line. I would probably use something softer, like the Orange Crush is a really good soft one. The Clear Max, but the Clear Max are expensive now. But the Clear Max and the Orange Crush, they are softer. The durometer is softer, therefore it's going to help wrap around certain things a little bit easier and really push down into those grooves with those dots and dot matrix. Softer tools are not bad. Softer tools will kind of help you. They'll be your friend. Good question, David. Good question. Van Moore. Come on. Who's it going to be? 18 watching. I see you out there. Get on them keyboards or touchpads or whatever the hell you guys have. Boom, bum, 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 and pretty good live stream tonight, I'd say. Pretty good. All right, while the last question is coming in, I'm going to start to installing. Yeah, soft cards. I'd probably use an Orange Crush. It's one of my favorites. good question. Mitch Abram, if you have a car that the marker lights don't turn off, do you proactively put battery on charger on battery, or how do you tackle low battery and code with factory radios? Listen, for cars that are more than 5 years, like radio batteries last anywhere between 3 and 5 years, right? Typically, so if it's over that range, I try to keep it with newer cars. Newer cars usually don't the batteries don't die out. And if the battery is so old that if the car is old enough that the battery is starting to die out, then the client is pretty much aware that shit happens, and they're gonna have to get a new battery and have to get that shit reset. I just leave the car on. If that's the case, and if it's a little bit older car and I'm worried about the battery dying, then what I'll do is I'll do all the windows first that don't need the car to be on, like the back windows, maybe back and quarter windows and things of that nature, and leave the roll-ups for very end. And I'll shrink or prep everything as much as I can, and then when I start the car and I have the car going, the battery is going to be on for very little. So if I... What? Whoa. Sorry, guys. My boy come in screaming bloody murder. Sorry about that. Poor boy. He overflooded the toilet, and the water was overflowing and getting all over the bathroom, and he was like freaking the hell out. Sorry, guys. Apologize. Let me see. Answer the questions real quickly. Yeah, and just prep as much as you can before the windows go on. To install a window, it usually takes me about maybe 6 minutes. Maybe. At that point, you're 6, 12, 24 minutes. 24 minutes to install the windows. That shouldn't be long enough to kill the battery. So, yeah, everything's okay. Sorry. Yeah, everything's okay. My boy he kind of flipped out. He come in crying, and it was like, it sounded he scared me because he was like, he had a serious cry, like I thought someone was injured or hurt and stuff like that. Life of a parent, you just, your kids come in crying and screaming and yelling, you think the worst. So that got me going a little bit right there. Got me going. Everything's okay. I got a bathroom to clean up, but that's it. Well, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Keith, hit me up on Facebook, and we'll schedule some time to meet and whatnot here. Thank you very much for all you guys that were in here. I love you, Dad. Oh, come in. Come in. My boy's coming. Hold on. We'll say hey to my boy real quick. Let's see here. Hey, bud. Say hi. Oh, do you see right there? See that right there? And you just say hi right there. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
All right. I love you. Go. I'll be back. Yeah, I know. Go. Go. Stay right there.
I want to see it.
Okay, you can stay right here. That's my boy. That's my oldest boy right there. So let me go ahead and sign off here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close it off for this evening. Definitely appreciate you guys all coming in here. Joys of a 5-year-old, right? Thank you very much for spending some time with me this evening. Big shout out to Daniel Reyna with the $15 super chat and the $10 super chat. WTC for life with the $5 super chat. Mitch Abram with the $1 super chat. Definitely appreciate you guys for helping support the channel. Sorry about the last minute whatevers, but yeah, I'm gonna be back here again 9:30 p.m. next week, Tuesday 9:30 p.m. And make sure you get on with Matt at Tint Stuff. He's gonna be doing his video premiere on Thursday 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I guess that's pretty much it, y'all. Thank you very much again. I really appreciate it. I really do love doing this. And I will see you all next week.